So now we also already can see that Straevaras is far behind his PB at this point. Still making a really good run so far, showing off some really nice tricks. Opting to get one of the best items in the game soon, which would be the Spring Ball.
Spring Ball allows you to spring as a ball.
So yeah, now that Straevaras is at Spring Ball, we have a little bit of time talking about the difference of new route and old route. Straevaras opting here to go for the little bit slower old route, which includes doing exactly this, destroying the grapple ground block by shooting grapple beam at it once and then wall jumping or space jumping all the way up there and getting Spring Ball. There's also a strat you can do where you skip the early grapple beam and do a certain ice clip under a platform there, which is horribly precise and only saves about 20 seconds, and if you lose it once, you lose all your time save. So especially in a race like this under tournament settings, it's a really nice choice here from Straevaras, who would definitely be able to do this ice clip, going for the safer old route here.
Sending a message to Shaq Tool by bringing his health down just a little bit.
Did you watch the race yesterday of Straevaras?
Not. Did he kill Shaq Tool?
Yeah, I was commentating on that, and it was actually really funny because Straevaras made the horrible mistake underestimating the power of Wave Beam a little bit too early there, and actually killing Shaq Tool before he was able to clean up all the stuff, so having to give Shaq Tool an extra round there before he was able to kill all the stuff, losing a massive amount of time. And that was pretty funny to see this early Shaq Tool kill.
He kills Shaq Tool early again, but fortunately he has the help of the snail to clear that sand away. Will he kill Shaq Tool on his way out?
Nope.
Unfortunately not.
I mean, killing him once has to be enough. No need to be greedy there. You will kill more stuff during this run. Unfortunately, that's not a robot, but an actual living, cute adorable thing. So now, down to the second half of Murdy Cleanup. Actually a really mazy area if you think about it. It's way less linear than all the other areas that we're going to see cleanup from. So we'll see a lot of going back and forth here, but if you have an efficient route, that can make a really fast thing. I already saw a lot of Murdia routes actually here. Like yesterday, Captain Duck had a really interesting strat here, so all those different strats deviating from each other, but all of them being equally fast in a way. That's really interesting to see how different stratting turns out here.
Picking up the plasma beam.
So, Christophelo, I want your opinion on something, because a friend of mine recently asked me that, who had no idea about Super Metroid. If Plasma is hot, why can you combine Plasma Beam with Ice Beam?
This thought has never crossed my mind.
Yeah, because I also had no answer about this, but unfortunately Super Metroid logic allows this. So yeah, Straevaras now going for the Kakutak room, a room that can be really hard to optimize, but if you get it fast, it looks incredibly cool. And it's also incredibly fast, I should say.
Yeah, I would say this is my favorite room in the game, if it's done perfectly. It looks so clean.
Straevaras having a little bit of problem here, getting damaged here by the Kakutak. Preserving his momentum here, but gets the final jump almost out of that little platform. It's not a perfect fight, still not too bad here. You can mess this room up a lot if you don't know how to do it.
Fortunately, picking up the bot moon E-Tank right now, as his energy was getting a little bit low there.
Yeah, I want to say this like the point till this energy tank is like really the last point where you really need to worry about your energy. After that, he has the remaining energy tanks in such a nice gapping that he shouldn't worry about them anymore, and unless he's gonna do some really unfortunate stuff like what happened to Pollsmor earlier, where he got stuck under a stone, getting massively damaged by the acid here. Also getting that short tap, that short charge here for the Shine Spark really fast, first try, really good.
Straevaras getting a very nice quick fall. If you turn at the last second when you're falling through those sand blocks, you actually fall through them very quickly.
Yeah, and especially in deep sand pits, that's going to save you a significant amount of time. Getting the jump there, not falling through the crumble blocks. Really nice here. Making good use of Spring Ball here, showing off just what wonderful of an item it is.
What's your favorite item?
You mean meme-wise or actually?
Let's do both.
Well, meme-wise, I would always go with Spring Ball, just because there's this nice Nintendo Power magazine which had like splits for an any percent speedrun of Super Metroid, and it had a little typo in it which said Spling Ball instead of Spring Ball. And that's just such a nice meme, which is also the reason why my personal 100% group is called Spling Ball, that I would say this is definitely by far my favorite item. From an effective side, I would always go with Screw Attack, because it just looks so epic, has a cool sound, and it just deals, what is it, 400 damage per frame? That's just...
Yeah, it's something exorbitant like that. It kills
that's
most
something like that. It's just really cool of an item.
Alright,
So
Spling Ball,
Straevaras.
that's sweet. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yeah, I know, I don't know, it really adds up really well to the stereotype of like some Asians not being able to say the letter L for some reason. I never know where that stereotype came from, but whatever. It's just a nice meme. Also, Straevaras, not forgetting the crate missiles, which has often been the source of some really unfortunate item 99% runs. Getting also the second mock ball out of crates there, really nice from him here. So now Straevaras having all beams that are available in the game. Making for some really high firepower here, and which will be definitely good use against the upcoming Golterizo and Ridley.
Oh, and a very nice jump there by Straevaras. Able to keep his speed through this next room here, cutting it really close.
Yeah, nailing these space jumps perfectly, getting all the way through the room with the entire full momentum. Really nice. Also getting a really nice damage boost here into the giant lava room. now entering an area that is not really scary in 100%, but really scary in 80%. That makes up for some really fast gameplay here. Lower Norfair. Going for the Firebolt strat here, unfortunately misses it. Not getting the Springbolt set here. Still really fast back up here. Going the asset here, and now going for a really difficult, or I don't want to say difficult, but tricky Springball jump here, where you have to jump over crumble blocks in order to get a missile pack, because otherwise you're gonna fall down and going directly into the boss arena, having later to go all the way back over again to get those missiles. So that can be kind of tricky if you miss it.
Yeah, making his way through the lavatory, draining the acid out of the room.
Yeah, gets the missiles without any problem. Now ready to fight Goltery, so pretty straightforward fight if you find an interesting spot where Goltery is not able to attack you at all, which makes the fight significantly easier.
Yeah, also much faster because if you fire straight upwards and crouch, each of your plasma shots will hit him twice, cutting the time that it takes to fight him in half.
Yeah, and getting the spotted without any problems. Yeah, that is as fast as it can possibly be.
Straevaras making it look easy.
Getting the Shine Spark into Screw Attack Room. Being able to Shine Spark all the way up, saving him a little bit of time here. Unfortunately, bonks against the ceiling was just a little bit too far to the left.
He's setting up for fast pillars here, the fastest way through that room. I find it's also the easiest way to screw it up.
Yep, getting all the way across, nailing the shot before it, so that the door's open. And now we have the hardest room in the game, which is a joke in 100%. Because screw attack.
Yep, just jump straight up, take no damage.
So now we have the Mickey Mouse missiles, the last risk of falling down crumble blocks, which forces you to go all the way back over the worst room in the game. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Straevaras here. Nope, doesn't happen.
He did break the blocks though, so that's cutting it pretty close.
Gotta make up for some thrill here in this race. Or in this run, I should say, at this point. Making quick work out of the ski hunters.
Yeah, so he'll be entering the wasteland now. Not a lot to say here. He might try to. He's going to try to KO through those spike blocks in the next section here, and it'll save him some bit of time.
Yeah, KO, really precise trick in my opinion. Not always easy to nail those, but really impressive if you get it, especially if you get both. Fortunately, the platform moving there a little bit early. Stray decides not to roll down, but just keep going for the KO. Definitely wants to get that trick. Going for a really, really fast setup here for the Metal Pirates and gets it. That's big time save here at this point. And now we have what Stray calls in the split the Pogo Express.
Yeah, Straevaras, all too familiar with challenging Ridley fights, so he should make quick work of him here.
Yeah, someone who speedruns RBO on the godlike level should have no problems with Ridley at all.
Not just speedruns, holds the world record for RBO.
Yeah, that's something to point out. RBO and insanely challenging category, and just the idea of fighting Ridley with less of weapons and less of energy tanks and no suits. That's just insane, and Straevaras making a really good Ridley fight here.
Yeah, he can be a little bit lazier about this Ridley fight, just firing a bunch of plasma shots and jumping around. Can even take a few hits if he wants.
Like, usually you don't have a lot, like, enough supers to just fire a bunch of those in. Actually, I'm not sure if that's even faster, but we already saw some runners having like 45 missiles at this point and just deciding to pumping all of those into relay. Also looks really cool.
Clipping through those spike blocks, very impressive. I've never been able to get that.
Yeah, getting this.
And he's able to get the Wasteland Speedball. Nicely done, Straevaras.
That's some really high tier strats we can see here from Straevaras at this point. Making his way, almost done with Low Warfare. Let's see if he gets the damage boost out of Firefly.
Oh, he does. That looks so impressive. If he lands on top of the frozen Firefly, that's the fastest way out of this room.
Yep.
Just barely misses it.
Getting that into the iframe animation. Looks really cool.
Oh, and it looks like, I'm just noticing this now, he did get a gold split in his Ridley splits. That's very nicely done by Straevaras.
Actually saved almost 10 seconds on that split. Still being almost a little more than 50 seconds ahead behind his PB, but still really good split here from him. That was some really nice strats he showed off there in Low Warfare.
Yeah, Lower Warfare, one of the more technical sections of the game. Super impressive to watch when it's done nicely. He's got to be pleased about that.
Yep. So now he just got the last item in Lower Warfare. Gonna go for the Upper Warfare cleanup now. And then just getting a few more items, and then he's basically almost done.
Grabbing the Franker Z missiles.
Getting some really nice crit drops here.
Ooh, falling down Bubble Mountain. It's not going to cost him as much time as it would cost him going up Bubble Mountain, so it's not a big deal. He does have space jump.
Pausing here a few times. Apparently having something like a graphics bug, as it seems. Yeah, Straevaras just posting in the chat, that was scary. Looked really scary.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Was that the potential for a soft lock?
I did not see anything that could have caused a soft block, but it looked really weird. Just the way his screen turned black for a second, it's something you don't want to have in a room like that.
Yeah, he shouldn't be taking any risks here. I mean, he's got it in the bag. He's just got to finish up the run and he's good to go.
I have a little bit of problems being up there. That's just sometimes if muscle memory screws you over. So now getting the Bubble Mountain missiles.
if he was doing new route at this point, he would be heading down to Crocomire and finishing off that boss with one shot. But he's already fought Crocomire, so it's okay.
Yeah, makes up for a really cool fight, but unfortunately we're not going to see that unless Straevaras decides to reset, or maybe Pollsmor decides to join in again in this new route, which I doubt.
Yeah, resetting not an optimal strategy when you're ahead in a race that your opponent has forfeited.
True, can't agree more there. So now, Straevaras' next item will be an item that he calls quote-unquote useless in his split here, which I can totally agree on. Since I'm pretty sure if you're running 100% at that tier of level, you don't really need an item that shows you where items are anymore.
X-ray, however, very useful for climbing up walls and clipping through doors and such. Which, unfortunately, we won't see any of that in this category, but it does have a lot of potential.
X-ray, way less of an item that reveals items, but way more of an item that basically gives you the key to a lot of cool, glitchy stuff in this game.
You can see him stopping on the spikes there, but that allows him to build his momentum up on the way through that door there.
Yeah, using the iframes to get that momentum is definitely a really good strat. So now we'll see how Stray deals with X-ray in his inventory, since many people have problems, maybe not at that high tier of skill, but especially new runners have a lot of problems with kind of the muscle memory screw up that X-ray does, since if you just skip over X-ray with your item select button, and you're dashing at the same point, it's going to kill all your momentum because dash activates your X-ray scope. So now Stray heading for the Retro Brimstone cleanup, and is pretty much almost done with this run.
Yeah, he's going to do a bit of cleanup in Retro Brimstone, like you said, and then he's got a couple items in criteria, and he's done. And going for the reverse
going
slinky.
for reverse slinky, but unfortunately misses it at the very first jump. Still a really cool strat, and props for Straevaras actually trying this incredibly hard strat.
I would describe it as the hardest strat in the game, so no shame in missing it.
Especially considering that it has only been done 2 times in RTA.
Yeah, no shame in missing it.
Yeah, not quite sure what he did there with the... Did he miss a few blocks? Oh yeah, he missed the last row of blocks. Sometimes happens that. Pretty unfortunate.
Going for the mock ball through this next section here. Unfortunately, getting
bonks
hit by
against the door. Yeah. Okay. Looks like Pollsmor went offline.
Yeah, I mean, a very unfortunate way for Pollsmor to kill his run. But yeah, Straevaras should have this one.
Now we're entering a room which actually Straevaras was the one naming it, which would be the Billy Mace room, because of the infamous second missile pack hidden in the floor. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, Billy Mays missiles, one of my favorite items in the game for its name.
Yeah. I remember when Straevaras actually was just showing up in the Discord of the Super Metroid community and was like, I'm really trying to, like, I'm really tempted to just rename this into the Billy Mace missiles, and the Discord was just really hyped about that because that was such a cool idea. And it's such a good meme. So now charging up Shine Spark, going up the elevator, and the Shine Spark will be conserved till he ends the elevator animation, which will make up for a really cool setup to enter cross the old Mother room, because you don't have to deal with all the annoying jumps in the pirates.
Yeah, that one's pretty difficult to set up. So Straevaras will be coming up on the last item in the game pretty quick here. Really creative name for this item. It's known as the Last Missiles. The Super Metroid community is showing off their creative spark yet again. And that should be 100% for Straevaras.
Hopefully, I did not see him missing anything. Also, really nice that these missiles are actually carried by a Chozo statue. Like, even though it just seems like a really random item, maybe DeoForest knew that this was actually be the last missiles. Maybe they knew it all in advance and just wanted it to be carried by Chozo statue. Oh, going for a really cool mock ball here. So let's see.
He's going to be entering the Golden Forum, also known as the waiting room. This room, one of my favorite rooms in the game. It again gives you an opportunity to check your Instagram, your Facebook, your Tinder.
Yeah, Straevaras being about 1.5 minutes behind his PB, still, considering this high rank of runner, really good run from him, especially under marathon and race conditions. So really good run from him so far, also showing off his excellent horizontal bomb jump skills here.
So Straevaras entering Turian, one of the more skill-intensive sections of the game here.
Yeah, really technical part, really hard shots to pull off. Let's see how good he gets it.
Yeah, again, Straevaras making it look easy.
Yep. Some of those shots are really hard to pull off in that speed. So for those of you who don't know it yet because you joined late to the stream, Pollsmor unfortunately died in Crocomyre's room on the way out of Upper Norther the first time. He unfortunately got stuck under a little stone pillar in the acid bath, and because he was not able to move out of there quickly enough, he lost all his health and so died and then forfeited from the race. Really unfortunate. But yet again shows that 100% is not an easy category where you can die basically everywhere if you don't focus and have some unfortunate luck.
So Straevaras coming up in the Metroid skip here. This is probably one of the most challenging skips in the game. Skipping the cutscene where the Metroid drains your health by just kind of like jumping around a whole bunch. And let's see if he gets it.
Really fast setup. Looks so far really good and gets the Metroid skip. Really well done here by Straevaras, getting a really, really fast Metroid skip here.
Was that a 3 jump, excuse me?
I think it was a 4 jump, but no, actually, I don't know. Regardless, even if it was a 4 jump, this is some crazy shit.
Indeed, Ponk, you couldn't have said it any better.
Straevaras, did he deactivate Screw Attack yet? No, he did not.
Yeah, you can actually clip through here with Screw Attack enabled, but it's super challenging. You can see him
Oh,
getting
right,
it
he's
there.
going for the down back strat, yeah.
Getting nice and cozy next to Mother Brain there, firing some missiles into her face.
That's how you want to have Mother Brain. Right next to your face, firing some supers into her.
So this is really the last opportunity for Straevaras to soft lock or kill the run. There's a couple ways that the Mother Brain stand-up glitch can fail, and let's hope it doesn't happen here. But this can be a pretty intense section of the game here.
Yeah, first phase pretty straightforward. You just want to get 20 charged shots into her. Not really any big problems here, especially since you have so many E-tanks. Basically, at the end of these 20 charge shots, when Mother Brain is charging up for her first Rainbow Beam, you want to be about a little bit above 700 energy, which Straevaras is just setting up for. He's fine now, should be all set up for the stand-up glitch.
Stand-up glitch allows you to take pot shots at Mother Brain as the Metroid is latched onto your head, so definitely save some time.
Also looks really glitchy at some point, as we're gonna see in just a second. Since the game forces Samus to be in a crouch animation, she's basically constantly high jumping, space jumping, while being in a crouch pose. Looks really interesting.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing to do here. Unfortunately, I've killed so many runs doing this because there's again so many ways you can soft lock while you're doing this, so I like just standing there and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Basically, the two ways you can massively screw up here is as soon as the baby gets onto you, you don't want to jump too high into the ceiling, because otherwise there will be a chance of the baby actually getting stuck into the ceiling, with Mother Brain having no option to kill her whatsoever, and so you will not be able to actually kill Mother Brain free, and so soft locking. And another way is a little bit glitchier, but I suppose none of those things will happen. Straevaras is making a really good Mother Brain free fight so far, getting a lot of shots in. You want to get ideally 39 in, so that you only have to do one more Hyper Beam shot. He's probably going to do a lot more, but still a really nice MV3 so far with the stand-up glitch.
Yeah, making quick work of Mother Brain 3. She's no match for the Hype Beam.
Yeah, Mother Brain 3 is there, and now we're just having the escape left. It's pretty straightforward, especially since Straevaras has his next split named Barbecue Animals, so we're gonna see some dead animals here in just a second, getting some nice barbecue for the evening.
Yes, Straevaras making the correct decision in killing the animals. Hopefully. I mean, we'll see what happens. What's your thoughts on the animals, Punk?
My thoughts on the animals is that they're great and they should be saved by any matter. And everyone who's not saving them will probably be taunted for the rest of his life by the animals.
Well, unfortunately, Punk, I believe that you're wrong, so that's...
Well...
I mean, we'll see what Straevaras chooses, but I'm pretty sure he's going to make the right decision here. And not
yeah, especially since the split is named that way. And I know, like, in on many marathons, he showed his opinion about saving the animals. So there's... I mean, we saw some runners doing some animal saves at some really unexpected points, but we'll see about that. I doubt it, but actually going for Behemoth Spark here actually nails it. That's pretty fast. Pretty cool strat here from Straevaras. And now we're basically just waiting. Yep, he's jumping straight over them. Probably not gonna do some trolly stuff like we saw before in other races where people decide to jump on the ship and then going back. Nope, he's ending. And with an SRO race time of 1 hour and exactly 23 minutes, Straevaras finished in this 100% race. So GG for Straevaras, also GG for Pollsmor, who was unfortunately not able to finish. So yeah, now we're gonna just have to wait for Straevaras to confirm his 100%. No lovely pink pixel. Very, very unfortunate stuff here.
I would consider that very fortunate, Punk. Very fortunate.
How can you dislike adorable pink pixels getting out of them?
Okay, so here's the thing. Metroid Fusion would have never happened if the animals were killed, and that's something that I think we're all in favor of. They literally caused Metroid Fusion to happen.
Well, yeah, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, we all love Metroid Fusion, at least most of us. So that's definitely something. But I mean, Nintendo taught us before that there are many games where there's just a nice little parallel universe where different story plots are taking part. I mean, the Zelda series is teaching us how it's done. There are basically just 3 parallel universes, so why not just a nice little parallel universe where I live and can save my animals all day? And Metroid Fusion to happen. So now that we have to wait for Straevaras credits roll, let's actually talk about the upcoming races. So at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so in about half an hour, we have a really nice race, Total against Cristofalo here on the other line of the commentary. From Group Shack Tool here. That's gonna be a really nice race, and I would definitely check that out if you have more time. And I think that's it from Super Metroid races today. So yeah, shout out to Cristofalo having his race in half an hour, and good luck with that against Total.
Thank you very much. We've got some other races up on the Speed Gaming calendar as well for tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST. We have Farrell versus Jighart, and then we have at 3 p.m. EST, Zosty, the world record holder, versus Shokushu. So that's going to be a good one. Check out all our events on the Speed Gaming calendar.
Absolutely, and if you just don't like Super Metroid, but also other games, you should also check out the DKC2 Any% race at 9 p.m. also here on Speed Gaming, right after Cristofalo's match. So now, almost done with the magic moment. Make sure to prepare your deal forces in the chat.
Get your deer forces ready in the chat. The big reveal, Samus is a girl.
And some really nice cats on Straevaras. And we're gonna see the item percentage counter in just a second. Yep,
100.
that's 100% for Straevaras.
Very nice.
GG.
So congrats to both runners, Straevaras and Pollsmor. That was a very good race. Very unfortunate about the early death, but I enjoyed commentating this. I enjoyed watching it. So thanks, Ponk, for joining me on commentary here.
Thanks, Cristofalo, for commentating with me. And thanks, everyone here, for watching. Again, make sure to check out Cristofalo's race against Total now. And I'll see you all next mission.
Hello and welcome everybody to another Super Metroid 100% race. Tonight we feature Cristofalo versus Total. And my name is Cerberus, and joining me we have Desirect here doing commentary for you.
How's it going, everyone? This race is going to be pretty good, I think. Did a little bit of research on these guys. I mean, obviously, Total's been around for a while. Their PBs are off by a few minutes. So, really, it's a matter of if one of them really messes up, that could easily hand it to the other guy.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you could say that for any category here. We're looking for. I think both of these players are going to be doing the old route, based on their splits. They both have grapple right after wave, so we're not going to be seeing any ice clip from these guys, but that'll still make it very interesting, and we'll be able to tell exactly who is ahead at what point in time. We're going to start off here. We're going through Sirius, getting damaged by Ridley as quickly as possible. Nothing terribly interesting. The beginning of the game is the same for literally any route that you're going to take.
And Cristofalo's got a pretty good time too.
So, Jesse, you used to hold the world record in this category.
4 whole days, man.
4 whole days. Still counts. Still counts.
Still counts.
So perhaps you can tell us a bit about some of the tricks that they're going to do when they come up. I'm going to challenge you. Check Tinder. Not yet. Well, I suppose. So both our players were making it off of Sirius there with pretty good times in the high 40s.
I mean, I saw Chris had like a 42, 41, and we got a 44, I think, out of Total.
Yeah, Total got a 44.
Pretty good, pretty average. Well, good average times for good average players.
Sure. I mean, I can't.
They're very solid times. Very solid times.
Yeah, I can. The best I've ever done is a 42. So
I'm not trying to put these guys down. I know they could both beat me right now in a race if I were to do this again.
You're out of practice.
I am very out of practice.
That's all right. Last time we met up, I saw you still had several tricks up your sleeve. I know you can beat me still.
I'm using a live streamer.
Okay. So hold on to your hats, everybody. Our racers are going to make their way through criteria here. Go pick up the missiles after picking up Morphin Ball, and then they're going to head up to Bomb Trezo. Again, first 5 minutes of the game is the same as literally any category that you're going to run. So,
except for randomizer.
Except for randomizer.
Come on.
Except for randomizer. Too true. Touche. Any standard category.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a hand in making the randomizer?
You could say that.
Do tell.
I wrote it.
Yeah, see? My statement was accurate. I stand by it.
Hand of code, yes. All right, so one of the things I really like about the beginning game here is like it's actually really quite technical, even though you don't have like all the, you don't have speed booster, you don't have high jump, you can't do any of the shine sparks or speed balls or any of these things. but it's still a very very tight technical section. So you can easily see players like not even look like they're messing up that much, but by the time they get to super missile, they're 20-30 seconds behind just from loose play, really.
Yeah, especially with the climb. As you can see, our players both just completing the climb and then right into the parlor here. All of those jumps are very technical. I know I still have difficulty with some of them. So, and then after Palm Trees, though, you have Alcatraz, which can be a nightmare for players who are just learning.
I mean, and here's a solid example. Okay, so Total is actually ahead right now with the looking at the timer. But you know, the difference between that and like a player like Oats and Goats that can get 440, 445 bombs, just absolutely crazy that there's 20 seconds to lose in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it just shows how skill intensive this game really is. You have to put time in to practice it. Even Oats and Goats, drops things at times. So with as much practice as he has.
And then we have the Alcatraz coming up. Looks like Cristofalo got through it nice and easy. Total second try. Not bad at all. It's an easy one to mess up.
Yeah, it's very technical. Those wall jumps are very tight. You don't have much room. And, if you miss, you're falling right back down.
Chris blasting through the Terminator pretty good. Total taking a hit or two. Still, both players, just rushing through the Space Pirates here. Now, I'm more of a fan of actually doing the full Terminator and killing the Space Pirates there. The benefit from that is additional health.
I actually like running through them just as both of our racers did. That way I don't have to worry about picking up missiles again to open the door for the early supers.
Well, the thing about doing that is if you have full health, then you're not going to get any health drops. The only thing that the Space Pirates are going to drop is health and missiles. And especially at this point, you don't have any other types of ammo for them to drop. So what's going to happen is the missile is going to expand in the drop table, and you're going to have a much more likely chance of getting those missiles back. So it's actually incredibly rare to not leave that room with at least 2 missiles, and 2 missiles is all you really need, because the Zilas coming down off of the elevator have a very high chance to drop missiles naturally.
Yeah. I don't know. I see exactly what you're saying. I just prefer to know that I have the 5 missiles over.
Oh no, I got you. It's definitely something that if you do it more, you become more trusting of it. So we got a reverse mock ball out of Chris here. Very clean execution. Total just bonks on the ledge.
Yeah, barely missed it. That's a tight mock ball. I am still working on that myself. So we see our runners hit that and miss that all throughout this tournament.
Troyzo's pointing out. Yep, go ahead. Okay. I mean, right now I'm looking at it's at 8:46.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Fiesel.
Okay, yeah, I think we're good. So, yeah. Here we see our players making their way through the Green Hill Zone on toward the new bridge. Can they run? Looks like Christofalo can run.
One of the things that Zos pointed out in the chat is having more health also enables you to do some other strats, specifically an anti-lag Kraid strat. Total accidentally pressing pause for a moment. These sort of... It's amazing how a button press can just cost you just 2 seconds like that.
Yep. Yeah, as we said, this game is very technical. We see Christofalo picking up Spazer now, and Total.
And Total not far behind.
Yeah, they are neck and neck. Not much is separating these players.
So there's a lot of different ways that you can get into Kraid's lair here. Some folks are a fan of, shooting all 3 of the blocks. The simplest way, what both Total and Chris here just did, is just shoot right in the center and then go ahead and morph in. There's a tricky, like you can do a diagonal shot into a mock ball. That one's kind of error prone, I think, and I don't think even saves time over just shooting all 3 of them. The problem with all 3 of them, of course, is it uses so much ammo, but you're just going to get that ammo right back once you get to Mini Kraid here.
Yeah, the Mini Kraid has, as long as your health is high enough, he has a very high chance of dropping supers, and that's what you look to pick up off of him. At least that's what I look to pick up off of him. I'm sure most of our runners.
Yeah, as long as you don't get there with like 30 health, you're fine.
Yeah, Christofalo setting up the Spazer, the charge beam kill, and getting that very nicely.
Total looked like he's going for the faster 2 missile quick kill.
Yeah.
And gets it as well.
Yeah, very, very, very nicely done by him as well. I like to go for the missile kill personally. That is just the first way I learned. I didn't know that the charge beam kill existed until actually sometime just before or during this tournament. So
it's not a bad way to start out. It's one of the nice things about these tournaments is that you can see all the different strats that people have adapted, or some of the less precise ways of doing things that if you're starting out you can pick up, because really every room in the game has at least 10 different ways of getting through it, almost all similarly timed, and it's just a matter of what are you comfortable with.
Oh yeah, this tournament has definitely changed the way that I go through rooms. It's just seeing what other people are doing. Oh, Christofalo falling down, not getting that mock ball out of the warehouse there. He did get the super shot. Let's see how Total does with this. Oh, and he just missed it too.
Same thing. Yeah.
Oh, very unfortunate that they fall down.
That's sad. I can still tell they're gonna miss as soon as they jump. It's a very tight jump.
Yep. They're gonna go pick up the energy tank, the missile pack, and the high jump boots, and then they're gonna make their way over to Bubble Mountain.
Now, most of the players that play 100% nowadays will go the same route, but there have been a lot of different routes in the past, and used to we'd go up and get for just a brief moment, we would go up and get the any percent power bombs before coming down, and that would change the way that this room works quite a bit. In fact, I think that's what you end up doing at RBO now.
Yes. If I do recall correctly, Stray went to get in his world record round. He went to go get those power bombs before coming down here.
Okay, so Total electing to do the pseudo screw mock ball strat to get past those guys. Personally, I'm just a fan of killing them, but definitely has its merits. But I'm also a fan of using missiles anywhere that they save time in this route, because I mean you just get so many of them. Even if you do the missile kill on Dragon, which I don't think I've ever seen anyone do but myself, where you literally just spam missiles and you still get a 2-round. You just have way too many missiles in this category.
Yeah, ammo after a certain point is definitely not going to be an issue. That is one of the benefits of running 100%. I mean, during the early game, it's still tight, but after a certain point, it becomes almost ridiculous how many missiles you have.
I don't know if you noticed there, getting up at the top of Bubble Mountain. I saw Total do this. I didn't see if Chris did, but that top wall jump went ahead and just morphed just to protect himself from the off chance that the cack attack was gonna explode some needles at him and ruin his day.
Yeah, Chris did not do that. That is definitely a very cool strat that you can do, and while you're morphing, you're on your way up there. It will not be able to knock you down, even if it snipes you, which is nice. I have not mastered that, and perhaps Christofalo is not comfortable with that either.
Well, I think another thing is you can watch, because there's the animation that happens before. If you don't see it begin to contract, then you realize you don't have to do it.
Yeah, that is what I look for. So if I see it contract, I'll actually stay and take an extra wall jump to hang on the wall there. I know that cost me a little bit of time, but
Chris missing the wall jump going into wave.
Yeah, he recovered very nicely though. Just jump right off the spikes.
Could be worse. He could have missed one of the platforms.
Yeah.
Or accidentally K-go through it or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of times I've turned K-go'd through one of those platforms. Like, you just have to direct focus, stay facing right. Ooh, Total with a very nice jump out of the way beam room.
Yep. Killing the final boss once again. as it's been dubbed the final boss. I don't remember who dubbed it that, but.
Alright, and we are heading down to Crocomire. No surprises out of Chris today.
Yeah, it looks like Total is about to do the same thing. Again, their splits both, say that they're going to go down to. They both have grapple at this point in time. So.
By the way, it's worth noting that the past 2 splits for Total are gold.
Yeah, that's.
So Total is having a pretty good run right now. He is the underdog in this fight, and if he can keep pace, just the slightest flinch from Chris could be his undoing.
Yep, that's very exciting. Oh, look at that! Total getting 2 missiles and a super in there, while Croc opened up the first time. That is definitely a very tight window to get all of those shots.
Christofalo questioning his life choices in the chat.
Well, he is.
Do we get the wraparound from him? I didn't notice.
He set up for it. It looked like I didn't.
I mean, it's a pretty easy shot to get. So
Total, it looks like Total set up for it there as well. So. We'll see in a moment. I'm pretty sure both of our players. I did see one player skip the wraparound. I think it was earlier today. He skipped the wraparound and then set up for the spark and then shot the door just before he got the spark, a la Ocean Fly. So I thought that was very cool.
Okay.
Looks like Cristofalo opting not to do that spark.
Which puzzles me a little bit, but you know, I mean, he has plenty of health here. I feel like that's probably your concern if you're trying not to do the spark, is just you want to make sure you save up your health
Yeah,
for
he might not
wrecked ship,
He
which
might not be.
is
Okay.
the final choke point.
Yeah, definitely. Wreck ship is going to be an area where players are definitely going to be concerned with their health. He might not be comfortable with that spark. The window on that is very tight. Ooh, Cristofalo having a little bit of trouble with the enemies down here in the room before grapple.
Okay, both of the players are tied up now. Look at them getting the grapple at the same time.
Yeah, this is like frame for frame almost here. This is very exciting.
All right, let's see how they get the pantry missile. Okay, looks like they're both going for the grapple strat.
And Cristofalo gets it. Oh, total, unfortunately falling down.
Let's check out his backup here.
Looks like he's going to power bomb and speed boost up. Let's see if he shine sparks or just.
That's like looks like he's having a little trouble with that short charge.
There, he gets the jump. That's what I like to do with that, is actually get the jump there.
So in most situations, doing a shine spark, like if you don't have to do a shine spark to get where you're going, it's just faster not to do it. That includes here. That includes when you're coming back up at the end of the game. I think Fuzda was mentioning this earlier with the doing the just screw attacking across the old Turian room, you know, as opposed to doing the shine spark, which is easier but slower.
Yeah, the one thing with that is that the screw attacks are incredibly tight in that room, and to have any kind of speed here.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely worth noting that, you know, the trade-off isn't that great. I mean, you don't lose that much time for shine sparking.
Yeah, I think that is definitely more of a consistency versus the few seconds that might be in making a difference.
So one of the things I also want to mention, total shine sparking up from the sine wave room. He I guess unaware that as long as you're going through, is if you hold up and then just mash jump, you'll be just far enough left to make it on the ledge at the top of your shine spark. One of the few situations where the shine spark does save time. Cristofalo not having a good run. He is minus 33 as of grapple.
Yeah, and total is
sorry, he's plus 33. Total minus 22. So total is having a good run. They're both making this a great race.
Yeah, and again, it's worth noting that these players, their PBs are you know, within a couple minutes of each other, so anything can happen here.
So Chris trying to go for the hero shot. Total almost in soft lock territory there.
Goop sparking it up there on that alpha spark. Unfortunate for him. His setup looked good, but you see Cristofalo heading down to pick up those first power bombs in the any % route.
Oh, total opting for the ledge grab and just missing it. It's a very tough trick to
ledge grab. Yeah, Elminster, that fourth Ripper is actually what does it in that room. Oh no! Christofalo visiting the Samus Eater.
I always found it amusing. There's a species that's specifically named for this one person that happened to come by on this planet this one time.
Eh.
Samus Eater is the canonical name for this. We're just going to call it a vile plume.
Yeah, I was about to say, you mean it's not a vile plume? Vile plume before vile plume was a thing. See, Nintendo knew what was coming up the
Oh
whole
man.
time.
Oh man.
Now, that was an interesting strap by Total. He went up the left side of that room. Not typically players go up the right side of that room and
The
pick
right
up
side
the.
giving you a little opportunity to pick up a super, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They pick up the supers from Cactax that they're almost guaranteed to drop. Looks like Christofalo is going to grapple over the moat. Why not, since he has grapple? Making it quite easily.
Grappling there is not only easier, but it is actually faster than trying to set up a one-shot ocean fly.
Yep.
Which is why you see the one shot in the early ice route. You generally should see swinging with the grapple over here.
Yeah, I mean, players have been trying all sorts of various things. We saw somebody earlier set up for the ocean fly. Excuse me. So you know, I guess it's whatever players are used to. But you are absolutely correct that picking the grappling across is faster. Total having a little bit of trouble with that spark across the ocean here, but then getting on a second try. Still hot on Christofalo's heels as both players enter into the wreck ship, and Christofalo just about to hit Fantoon. Let's see how he does. Looks like he's going to X Factor Fantoon. He's all set up for that.
Fantoon giving a slow to start out with.
Well, he is definitely trolling, if nothing else.
Slow mid.
Oh, unfortunately,
And
Christofalo missing some particles there. Yeah, it looks like Total is setting up for the X Factor as well. Sorry, you were going to say?
You got it.
And Christofalo bringing Fantoon down with missiles and a super. This is a chance for Total to make up a little bit of time if his X Factors are better. Looks like
First X Factor is good, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you got to
Fantoon
slow
giving him a
fast here.
Oh, and he looks like he got the second one there.
He got sniped. He got sniped
Oh.
by a flame there.
Did he?
Yeah.
He was very
No
close.
supers to make it up either.
No, but he gets it. He gets it with the charge shot. And Fantoon is down.
Ooh, that power bomb just laid a little too early.
I like to use the I guess for lack of a better term, electrical node thing on the ceiling as a point. There's those two nodes.
Yeah, like once you clear that first one, then you can
Yep.
drop it. Yep.
Yeah, I like to drop it in between those two nodes there, and then that guarantees me to open those blocks. So
Total forgetting to drop the power bomb.
yeah, he
He's
dropped
got
it there,
though.
right
He's got
right,
it.
yeah, right above the work robot's head.
Okay, so this is a pretty dangerous spot for Chris. He's He is 56 health going into the most dangerous room in 100%. Looks like he's taking it pretty careful. Oh, no!
Oh no! Christofalo is down! Christofalo has died in the spiky death room, the most dangerous room in 100%. Unfortunate.
Always painful to watch. His saving grace is to hope that Total absolutely dies.
Total has a
but
significantly
he has a
larger
lot of health
energy
here.
cushion.
He could damage boost off the bottom of those spike platforms, and
I like
this
the
game
damage
is a
boost.
very, very harsh mistress.
Yeah, I like the damage boost off the top, but total getting nailed by almost everything in that room, making it out with 170 energy though, and some in the reserve tank.
This is a very tough room.
Yeah.
I've had a fair share of runs die there. I almost had one die in this room. Actually,
I spent almost 2 hours on it the week before my run with Oats, just so I did not die there, and thankfully I did not.
So let's go to the race channel. Did we get a forfeit? We did not. So
Christofalo has not yet forfeited. It looks like he's back at the ship. He'll have to do everything again, unfortunately.
Down about 25 minutes, but anything could happen still.
Yeah, the gauntlet is still coming up for Total, and we have already seen one player die to the gauntlet. Total heading into the attic now. Looks like he's setting up for a power bomb strat. Let's see how he cleans this up. Looks like he is going to shine spark across. Oh, just hitting the top of that key hunter and missing the hitbox. Leaving it with probably about 100 health there.
I'm gonna say I'm very happy to see the resolve, the determination that Chris has here.
Yeah,
working his way back through the game. 25 minutes down is
it's heartbreaking for
tough.
sure.
Pretty tough.
Yeah, Total very nicely getting both of those clips through the work robots on his way in, and just choosing to shoot them into the holes on his way out.
That's odd to me because on the way out it's just so much easier. All you have to do is turn right, and then the conveyor belt just pushes you right through them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely easier to clip them on the way out than it is on the way in. Filled with determination. Thank you for the reference there.
So both of these players are currently 1 win, no losses. So within their group currently, Christofalo is leading with a better median race time.
Yeah.
But if Total picks up this race, that means he's just that much more likely to be able to make it into the single elimination portion.
Yeah, and players are still fighting for that second place, so median race time may be a factor in that, and having at least not having a 5-hour time, would be something that they might be looking for in case something else happens where they have to forfeit, and then having 2 5-hour times would be devastating.
Oh, I think it's definitely the correct call, to just lick your wounds and carry on.
Yeah, a 5-hour time is Really, I was actually surprised when I found out that it was 5 hours. But it's certainly understandable that that is the time. It's just absolutely huge. Most of these players could finish the game 3 times in that amount of time. These work robots still giving Total guff, putting him in the hole while he sets up to go get the wreck ship reserve tank.
Looking to save a little bit of energy, holding that L button jump before shine sparking up.
Yeah, it's not a wise choice. Although, with the amount of energy he has, we'll probably see him do a ship trip before he goes to the gauntlet.
It's possible, but it hurts so much to stop by the ship for a refill.
Yeah, but if he wants to do Gauntlet Spark, he does not have enough energy for that.
It is definitely the safe play right now.
Yeah, I absolutely would in his position.
Well, how much does he have in his reserves? Do you know?
Well, he only has up until just a moment ago, he only had the 1 reserve tank. So even if he had full reserve, you're talking about 100 plus 130, which is enough to do the Gauntlet Spark, but it's not enough in combination to do the Spark up to the criteria power bombs. So, if he wants to do both of those sparks, then and he kind of has to do the Spark up to the criteria power bomb.
Okay, we are seeing a ship refill.
Yeah, that is the wise choice. Otherwise, if he didn't do that, he would get stuck in before the door over in the gauntlet. That's not something that he wants. There's a real possibility of dying to that acid in there.
Looks like we had another reverse mock ball from Chris over on the left side.
Yeah, that's real good to see him do that. That is, like we said earlier, that's a tight mock ball. Very, very nice trick. Here we're going to see Total setup for this wraparound shot. Well, looks like he missed it the first time. This is pixel perfect precision you need to set this shot up. Having a little bit of trouble with it here.
I can't tell if he's satisfied or if he's just he's just done trying it.
Yeah, that's a tough shot with only wave beam. It is pixel perfect. Having a spacer on doesn't give you that much more of a leeway. The spot is a little bit different, but it does make it easier. But this tinfoil hat. This is still the round robin groups.
Yeah, this is the Shack Tool group.
It's interesting. Total choosing not to deboost through that room. Taking a very safe setting up to get both of these missiles. That's wise. It is a huge time loss if you miss one of those and have to go back around.
Eventually, all those minutes that they could add up to 20, 30 or so.
Absolutely. If it was me, it would definitely add up. But that just goes to show how much practice I have at this game. 100% is still kind of new to me. Speed running 100% is still kind of new to me. This game is. I played this game a long time ago, but it's definitely something else to speed running. Here we see Christofalo making his way over to the warehouse. He's gonna go fight Crate again. While we see Total heading down into Brinstar to start his Brinstar cleanup. What is your favorite trick to do in 100%?
My favorite trick.
Yeah.
I think I was still a big fan of the swag escape out of Lower Norfair, the speedball leaving the room with the desk gigas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is certainly a swaggy trick.
Oh, just missing that last missile on the crate. Quick kill. This does... All right.
All right. Cristofalo recovering nicely from missing the crate quick kill. We see Total finishing up the bottom of Brinstar. Picking up the 3 items down there. Energy tank and power bomb and super.
Total having a little trouble finding that hidden super missile block.
Yeah. It can be tricky to hit that.
You know what? That one in particular, I don't know why. Those floor super missile blocks are already kind of a pain to hit anyway, because I feel like they give you a lot less leeway.
Yes.
Than,
I agree with that.
The ones on the
100%.
side.
Yeah. Oh, now look at this. It's very interesting. Total has chosen to skip Spore Spawn rather than go and fight him.
I wonder why he would do that.
I don't know. Perhaps might have something to do with a speed run. Maybe he wants to go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Hey, no, I'm not gonna argue with him. It's just the strat he chose. If I was in his place, I would have chosen that strat as well. Alright, Cristofalo picking up high jumps, boots, and the items that come along with it.
This is actually one of my favorite damage boosts in the game. This off of the side hopper there.
That is... I have tried to get that, and every time I either just land in the pile of the 3 of them or hit the door without having opened the door. So it is most of these damage boosts that you're gonna see are pretty swaggy. But you know, like I said, I'm still practicing a lot of this stuff, so
I still remember watching Red Scarlet's 100% for the first time, where like almost all the damage boosts were introduced, because I don't think anyone had used it, you know, before then. And oh wow, Chris getting knocked down by that cack attack.
the final boss can be tricky. Go on, you were saying?
Like before Red Scarlet's run, it was, you know, there was not nearly as many mock balls in play, or the like I said, the damage boosts were just totally new, and she had all these new ways of fighting the boss, which of course we've obsoleted almost all of them by now. But
Yeah.
and that was still a pretty raw time back then, because we didn't know about short charging, we didn't know about arm pumping, we didn't know about. I mean,
Total.
what do we
Sorry,
got?
I cut you off there. Total just missing blockbuster. That is
Man,
that is a swaggy trick.
it was a
I
really
like
good
it.
one.
I like
Very,
I like
very difficult to pull off. When you pull it off, you feel just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. For sure, I can believe that. There's a lot of these tricks when you pull it off, you feel fantastic. At least I do. But yeah, so a little bit before that, the blockbuster trick, we saw Total in the Green Hill Zone lay a power bomb. That is to open up the power bomb door up there, and that's going to save him a few frames when he comes back later on to collect the items in Blue Brinstar.
Did he get the missiles?
He did get the pipe missiles, yeah. And here we see him
Alright.
setting up for Main Street missiles. This is a very tight short charge. While we see Cristofalo heading back in for Wave. Looks like Total is going to opt to go up top here and charge up. That is easier to pick up the short charge up there. I like to do that because I am not comfortable with charging down at the bottom there. That is very tight.
My recommendation, if you do that strat, instead of walking off that second platform right there, you know how you bump up against the platform on the left, and then he fell down all the way to the bottom. If you do a small spin jump, then as soon as you bump against the platform, you can just shoot straight up, and that will save you just an extra second or two. Total now plus, looks like a plus three on his splits.
Yeah.
So he's
still
doing pretty well. He's still very capable of PBing at this point.
Oh, absolutely, and that'd be wonderful to see.
Chris, unfortunately, not quite capable of PBing this run. Perhaps in a future.
Yeah, he could still. Excuse me. He can still make a great time. He's gonna head down to Crocomire right now while we see Total gonna shine spark it up in the fish tank. I really do like his gumption and going back and trying to, complete the game. Total picking up those crab supers. I am infamous for missing those and missing out on a PB because I got 99%. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has done that, though.
One of my favorites is Frozen Cup, who, let's see if I can get this highlight up. It's one of my favorites. Just absolutely one of my favorites. And he completes his 100% run. And discovers that it was not quite 100%.
Yeah, that is the worst feeling.
He actually got 91%.
Oh my goodness.
Which is a bit off.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Cristofalo he set up the wraparound shot, but then did not get the charge to shine spark across. But he gets that jump with ease up into the power bomb room. He's gonna head down and pick up grapple next. Here we see Total up having a fun time at the beach, picking up some missiles and super missiles.
There's something about this room. I just like the design of this room. Like, you get to do the big jump, and then when you're coming back, hopefully you morph and unmorph to give yourself the little, and then you can mock ball or speedball back, and there's just like, it's a big pain in the ass room, but you can get through it so smoothly if you practice and you study, the movements.
Yeah, practicing is definitely required to speedrun this game. Oh, unfortunately, Chris missing the second Ripper there on his grapple strats. He's going to have to power bomb and use Speed Booster to get up there. While we see Total heading into everybody's favorite water snake, Bawoon. Looks like he is going to start with an X Factor and finish him off with Super Missiles.
Ooh, the X Factor did not go quite as planned.
That is very unfortunate, and lagging the screen while those particles just fly around, because Bawoon is not made up of one sprite. He is made up of many, and more stuff that is on the screen the more the Super Nintendo will slow down.
Not only the lag sprites, but probably one of the worst things is that you can't fire anything except for the grapple beam while those particles are still on the screen.
And grapple beam does not hurt Bawoon or any boss other than Dragon. And I guess technically it hurts Dragon. Total not going for the halfie or the full halfie here, it looks like. He recovered nicely on Bawoon there, but he's going to make his way through the Coliseum normally. Makes quick work of that. We see Christofalo on his way out of Norfair.
This missile is another missile that I've commonly lost 100% runs to.
Yeah, for me, it's Crab Supers, Kraid Missile.
This Ghidorah giving Total all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, once it starts shooting, at least I found it seems to perfectly time its shots with your shots. So Christofalo going for Alpha Spark here. Meanwhile, Total setting up for his Shine Spark strats. And Christofalo getting Alpha Spark. And while Total getting that first spark, hitting Dragon with the X Factor.
There was a pretty good X Factor.
Yeah, looked very good. Not getting that second spark, having to charge up again, but he hit him on the third one. And the fourth one.
Not quite enough to get it down.
Yeah. But there he goes. He gets it, and he gets the blue suit. Let's see if he goes for the spike suit. That is a double frame perfect trick. Very difficult. Christofalo falling down Red Tower here. Those Rippers are just in his way. They get in everybody's way. No spike suit for Total. He does pick up Space Jump. He's going to hold that blue suit until he gets back up to the Coliseum, where he's going to reverse halfie. Or is that a reverse full halfie? Across that room. Definitely the fastest way back across that room. Very nicely done by him. Now it'll be interesting to see if he picks up Bawoon E-Tank here. He does have only 300 and some energy, so I would think he's going to pick it up right here. But it looks like he's going to go down the sand pits and head over to Spring Ball. He must be comfortable where he is at with his life total.
I'm trying to think of what dangers could possibly be coming up that you would actually be concerned about your life total.
Not much at this point in time.
It is a little low. It is a little low, but
yeah. Well, there's not much while he's during doing the Meridia cleanup here. But yeah, it being a little bit low, picking up the Bawoon E-Tank, he doesn't lose any time to pick it up here. And I don't know why the power bomb there. That was very interesting.
Must have been an accident.
Yeah. quite possibly.
Pretty loose with the controls.
Yeah. But you know, it just gives him that extra cushion, and he doesn't lose any time picking it up now versus coming back and picking it up. It's the same amount of time. So just depends on what he's comfortable with. And here we see him picking up, heading towards Spring Ball the intended way, using the grapple beam.
And we've got Chris working his way back into the wreck ship. Still a little low on health.
Yeah, he can farm the caverns and the molecules if he is concerned with his life total for big energy drops.
I don't think it's even worth it until after Fantoon. I mean, if you take it as a given that you're going to beat Fantoon, which I don't know if you should or not, but
I tell you, I don't. But that's just me. We see Total checking his Twitter account while he waits for Stracktool.
Posting to Tinder, swiping right.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter or Tinder.
I don't either, but
Total,
I'm sure does.
quite possibly. Don't know.
I actually don't know.
All right, let's see how Christofalo does with Fantoon being.
Looks like
very
another
trolly.
slow coming up.
Yeah. Definitely not giving him good patterns. All right, looks good on his first X Factor there. Yeah, if you're reasonably good and excellent, perfect double or 2-round for Christofalo there.
He's not in the health bomb zone, so he will be a little anemic on health again, going up to the energy tank.
Yeah, he can farm those molecules, as I said earlier. They will give big health drops. I actually like to do that if I don't feel safe before going into the spiky room of death, which, as we can see, it will kill you. Another thing he might do is he might choose to save here in the save room that's just above.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I like to do that. You know.
I mean, you have to think. Do I really want to go through another half an hour of the beginning of the game before I get another chance to not die?
Right. Exactly.
Ship?
Yeah, exactly. That's the main reason why I like to save there, because I'm not 100% confident with that spiky room of death and spiky death room. And, you know, I think in my first race it killed me 3 times. So I wanted to make sure that did not happen again. Like I said, I spent like 2 hours practicing it. In my second race versus Oats and Goats, it did not kill me.
He's just going straight in, raw dogging it.
Yep, he's just going for it. Oh, getting hit by that guy on his way out. It looks like very. Oh,
very lucky.
Reserves
very
there.
low. He was lucky he had very low reserve, because if the reserves had taken long enough to refill, it would have just erased his invulnerability time. He would have been one shot.
Platform would have hit him a second time.
The good news is, once you get the energy tank, you're very, very happy.
Yeah, and here we see him collecting the energy tank, and Total making his way through Cacatac Alley. Very, very clean. And here he goes for that Babooni tank, picking that up. Yeah, this room is just absolute troll when you do not have the gravity suit.
A very clean strat going back to the left here.
Total getting that short charge up into the Aqueduct missiles and supers. while we see Christofalo heading into the attic, setting up his power bomb. Looks like he got good position, gets rid of the molecule there. And Shine sparks his way across. Oh, he missed just the top of that Key Hunter as well. Very nice recovery for him.
So one of the things I'm not a fan of here is actually doing that spark, especially with the 100% route as it is currently. It seems to me like right now your health is more valuable than your ammunition. So getting the going for the blue suit strategy, using a couple extra supers is probably going to be more beneficial for the most part.
Yeah, so I know I've seen like Zost and Behemoth, they do a speed keep strat where they get the blue suit and then they just literally run through every enemy there. Up until the end where they like speedball and then jump up and kill the last two, the molecule and the Key Hunter. And that does not use any health, which, you know, you're right. It is certainly a concern, especially with the gauntlet coming up as the second most treacherous area of this 100% route.
I mean, that said, all strats are, of course, going to be what am I most comfortable with? What am I most familiar with?
Yep. Little Dingus, Zost, and Behemoth Pa. I know you taught them everything they know, right? I think that's his line.
I happened to catch Behemoth streaming for the first time the other day. I popped in and said, "Oh, I didn't know Billy Mitchell streamed." I don't know if you got that.
Not quite.
He thought it was funny though.
Oh.
So there's that.
I'm glad he thought it was. Oh, Elminster taught Dingus everything. I see. Oh, Dingus. No, yeah, Elminster. Yeah, that's.
I'm actually older than time and knowledge as far as this game is concerned.
You're older than time. Well, you are.
Older than time and knowledge.
Well. All right, here we see Total going in to pick up Ice Beam, and then he's going to make his way down to Lower Norfair while we see Christofalo picking up that wreck ship reserve tank.
Now, he doesn't have any reserves, so we can pretty much take at face value exactly what he has going on.
He's also going to make a ship trip, almost guaranteed here. I don't think he's going to risk going to Gauntlet with 259 energy.
The alternative at this point, it is a little slower, but I think it might actually be faster to just leave Gauntlet to the end of the game if you have to go to the ship. And I don't have any. This is entirely like just me thinking. You go to the ship, it takes like 10 seconds or so. Even if you don't save, because saving adds like another 3-4 seconds, whatever.
Yeah. That's certainly a possibility. Leaving Gauntlet until you have Screw Attack and Space Jump, making that area just ridiculously easy. But it looks like he's going to go for the ship trip. It certainly does add time, but that health refill makes the area a lot easier. Oh, looks like
he saved his game. He saved his game.
Well, looks like Total did not go for the chronic boost there.
That was a 20-second detour there. I think it might just be faster to withhold until, because I think maybe it's a 10-second loss if you hold it off to the end as opposed to doing it right now. Because okay, sure, you know you do have to go through a few extra rooms, but then you also get to do the second room much more quickly. The wraparound becomes immensely easier here.
Oh yeah, you can just.
Plus, you can screw attack through to the power bomb.
Yep.
I think it's
Having space jump and screw attack makes this area almost ridiculously easy. Plus, you'll have almost full energy tanks. You'll have 13 energy tanks by that point in time. Here we see.
So routing suggestion for those in the future: if you don't have enough energy to do the spark, you're thinking about going to the ship, just put the gauntlet off until the end of the game.
Yeah,
and that's probably
go ahead.
Probably hard for a lot of folks who don't like just randomly play with different routes. 100% is a lot to memorize already, so I completely understand not going for it.
Yeah, my previous experience is playing in the double anti-bingo tournament, and man, you've got to know a lot of different routes to be able to do that. What I will tell you, it was a lot of fun. If there is another double anti-bingo tournament, I am definitely signing up for that.
I'm actually very sad that we never had a proper resolution to the first double anti-bingo tournament. It was me and Chronic in the finals, and we never did our match.
Oh.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. There we see Total making quick work of Golden Frizo after setting up in the proper zone where Golden Frizo just cannot hit you. And he picks up the screw attack. He doesn't get the spine chart, or oh my goodness, I cannot say that. He does not get the shine spark up that room, but that's okay. With space jump and screw attack, it does not make that room. It's not that much slower, if it even is slower. So you do have to wait for the thud of the shine spark.
So I just looked over again and noticed Total is, again for the past two splits, are gold.
Yep. He's
so
back.
He's having a very good run here.
Yep.
Now we can't call it a PB or PB quality yet until he's at the ship, I would say. But
oh yeah, no, he's definitely
he's having a good run right now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's. And that's what's important for him. You know, he's having a great run. Let's see. Christofalo making his way out of the bottom of Green Brinstar here. Heading over to pick up the items in Pink Brinstar. I just keep hitting Total on his way to pick up the Power Bombs of Shame. Less shameful in 100%, given that they are required.
That's a good tidbit. You do have to collect all the items in 100%.
That is correct. Let's see how he does with these metal pirates. And he gets the first one.
Using the, I say a very old strat. I'm just not sure if that's true or not. Like, oh, this is what I used to do for the Pirates in 2005.
Oh, this is very interesting. Christofalo also opting to skip Spore Spawn and pick up his super missiles through the back door. Man, one of these times I'm going to get to see Spore Spawn in a run.
Eventually, they will kill Spore Spawn. It just isn't going to be on camera. Spore Spawn, not one of the critters that get saved when you choose to ignore them.
there. You mean he does die when the planet blows up?
He dies. He dies just like the critters.
Hopefully, none of our runners choose to save the critters here today. Total.
I'm getting this feeling from Chris. Maybe this is a save the critters run.
Oh no, no.
Maybe I don't know Chris.
He is adamantly against saving the critters. Yeah, Total making quick work of Ridley there.
Wow,
Very nice fight.
Minus 46.
Saving
What
all
an
of,
excellent time.
Yeah, saving all of his supers there, which is not a bad decision at this point in the game. There's not 2 super packs
If
that
you
can
are
go.
not capable of skipping the Metroid, as I am not,
Nor am I.
turns out they really perfected the art of skipping the Metroid after I stopped playing.
Interesting. When I first started playing this game in the mid '90s, when this game '94, this game came out. So when I was it first came out, that was one of the things that I kept trying to do, and I knew you could do it because I got to the point where I could jump around the Metroid and have it like circle around me. So I was pretty sure that you could do it, and I just never successfully completed it. And come all these years later, here it is. People are speedrunning and doing that, and I was like, oh man, that's really cool to actually see somebody get that. I'm sure I'm not the only one to have thought of that way back in the day, but it's really cool. I still can't do it. But Cristofalo also laying that power bomb in the rolling hill zone. That'll save him some time later on. While Total picking up the Firefly E-Tank.
Now, as I was about to say, if you cannot skip the Metroid, the fastest method of getting through that area is to set up for a crystal flash, which begins inside of the Metroid as it's eating you.
Yeah, I've seen. I can't remember who it was, but I saw one of our runners do exactly that. And that is definitely a very cool strat. I can't do that either. But hey, I'm still working on most of this stuff.
I am told it was Lenifus, but Lenifus actually did not, in the 2 runs of his that I saw, he did not do that, and I think he has only done 2 runs.
Yeah,
most of the racers are only 2 runs in. Oh no, he actually has 3.
Okay, get your Franker Z's, chat, as we see Total picking up a Franker Z missile. Meanwhile, we have Cristofalo in picking up the items in the Mama Turtle room, heading on his way back out to the fish tank. Yeah, I'll take that, 3 Musketeers. Screw Attack makes light work of that room.
You're just so brokenly overpowered at this point.
Yes. Very interesting. Did you have a chance to read? Nintendo posted an interesting article with the original developers of the original Metroid. Did you have a chance to read that?
I don't think I saw that. What was it about? What did they say?
So they interviewed I can't remember the 3 developers, but there's 3 main developers for the original Metroid, who they also had a hand in this game. They mentioned various things about the process of them making the game, and how in the original game they had actually designed Samus to be able to move in a lot more ways than she ended up being able to move. And they had to cut a bunch of things out of the game. They talked about some of the difficulties they had in developing the game, as they had never done a game for television before. They came over from Nintendo's Game and Watch division. And this was, so yeah. What else did they talk about? Oh, they also asked, how is it that you came by Samus should be a woman? And they said, well, it was very late in development that they were talking about. They wanted to make do something special for the end. They wanted to have some kind of surprise, and somebody said, oh well, why not have the character take their helmet off? And they said, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then another person said, well, what would be really surprising is if the character turned out to be a woman. And as soon as that was suggested, that was it. They decided from that point right there that Samus was a woman, because that was going to be shocking for people. And it really was at the time. It was shocking. Wow, no other character in a video game or other protagonist like that was a woman at the time.
I mean, it seems very natural to me when you take the clear influence that Alien has had on this franchise.
Yeah.
And the fact that the protagonist of that series is also female.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's really cool. Another thing that they talked about was how Samus got her name. Apparently, she is named after Pele, but they got the Pele's name wrong.
I mean, I could easily see Pele typoing into Samus.
No, Pele's real name, which is Samus. I can't remember exactly what it was. Samus something. Aramis or Aramis. Yeah, it was Samus Aramis or Aramis, and
looks like his name is Edson Arantes.
Yes, so that is correct. That is his actual name. The developers admitted that what they knew at the time was actually some misinformation, and so that they basically used an incorrect name for Pele to name their character. Yeah, you can all find the article is available on Nintendo. I don't have the link available to me any longer, otherwise I'd really try. And we see Cristofalo getting ready to fight Dragon, while Total is cleaning up Blue Brinstar, collecting his last few items. Pele is not a girl.
All right, we got a very quick grapple kill here.
Yeah, I like that. That is my preferred strat to kill a Dragon.
I think that's the first truly quick grapple kill I've seen in this tournament.
I think my PB actually has that, but it was not. My current PB was not done in this tournament. It was done during some practice.
I mean, I've definitely seen more grapple kills.
Oh yeah, I'm not
out of this, but one where you do it nice and quick, where you lure Dragon over the side and then do that. We've got the nice Womple jump coming out.
Yeah, Cristofalo definitely.
He's rallying. He's trying to make that time back up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Unfortunately, his splits have not been getting any better. So even taking out the death at Wrecked Ship, this run is not going terribly well for him.
I think they have been getting a little bit better, but his last two were slightly worse, but this one I think is it's tough to say.
I'm just looking at his splits and I'm seeing more and more deficit as you go down.
Yeah, 30:02 to 30:15, and right now he's at 27 something ticking. So oh no, total sparking up into the door here. He's see
You gotta
how
let go of
tricky
that
it is.
jump button. You gotta let go of that jump button before you press up to get your spark going.
Yeah. We can see him having a little bit of trouble of screw attacking through that room. You can see how tricky it is, especially if you're not practiced to screw attack through that room. Like,
Well, it's not only that, but Total's been having a lot of just random controller malfunctions throughout this particular run. He had a random pause button. He had, just some other, similar issues with his controls.
Yeah, that was a very interesting strat. I don't think I've seen any other runner do that, where they charge up their Shine Spark and then just simply screw attack the Booyahs, or through the Booyahs there. Definitely.
It's definitely faster to charge up that plasma beam, but if you're not certain on that timing,
that definitely
better safe than sorry, I'd say.
No. I mean, he's obviously well ahead of Cristofalo. Cristofalo having died earlier, but at this point in time, I think it's coming down to whatever Total is comfortable with, and he is well ahead of his PB here, almost an entire minute. While we see Cristofalo just hanging out, checking his Twitter account. Hanging out with Shaq Tool. I'll tell you this.
About to have cutscenes going on both sides.
Yeah. Right. We see Total making his way towards the Golden Four. He's going to be sitting and waiting. Despite Cristofalo having died earlier on the run, both of these racers are, doing pretty well.
Total exactly a minute ahead of his personal best.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
6 gold splits in this run.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
So
Cristofalo really waiting. Shaq Tool on his way back.
Probably took a bathroom break there. Wasn't expecting to have a run go this long.
Yeah. No, that's.
As we mentioned before, definitely checking Tinder. By his own admission. I feel like if I were a single guy and I were setting up a Tinder profile, I'd just have to obviously mention about how into the Super Metroids I am. Exactly like that, into the Super Metroids.
I am not sure what kind of reaction you would get from people.
Many swipes left.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
left is the bad one, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just shows my knowledge of Tinder. 0. But I don't think Tinder existed when last I would have needed it. So possibly showing my age here. All right, here we are, total in the baby Metroid room. Looks like he is turning off Screw Attack and Varia. We'll see how he does with this baby skip. Perhaps not 100% comfortable with it. He turned off Varia.
I think if you're not 100% comfortable here, you should turn off all of your suits.
Turn off.
Oh no!
He does get nabbed here. That's unfortunate. It looked like he had a nice
Ceiling
setup.
gamer got him.
Yeah. Oh, Cristofalo has a shine spark through that room right before Cactac Alley. Very nicely done by him. Let's see how he does. Makes his way through Cactac Alley. Yeah, fairly clean. Oh, total going right for the Ghidorah. I think he likes the Crystal Flash.
With reserve tanks, he's not going to be able to do that. Well, okay,
He can get,
I understand. I think I see what's going to be going on here.
Yeah, he can get hit by the Rika. Oh, he has quite the amount of energy in the tank there. He's opting to leave those Rinkas on the screen. They do, since they're there, they do cause some lag.
This is a very dangerous spot.
Yes. Because getting hit by Mother Brain.
There we go, and he's good for the Crystal Flash. Oh no.
Missed the first one.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, he's good. He's good.
He's good.
He is good. Wow, that was cutting him very close there, making it exciting for us. Let's see how he does. Well, now with the Plasma Wave Ice, it's only going to take 20 shots for Mother Brain here, so he should make pretty quick work. As we see the catch-up beams coming already.
So for those who are unaware, the Crystal Flash gives you a finite amount of energy back, 1500. So it is going to last a set amount of time. However, any damage that you take is going to hit you every frame that you were intersecting with that damage particle. So if Mother Brain had started shooting at him there, he would be losing a lot of energy.
And quickly. Given that this game runs at 60 frames per second. Here we see Total setting up that stand-up glitch up in the air for the first part.
Does not need to be jumping at this point. But
no, a lot of runners actually like to stay on the ground at this point in time. There is another point where he does have to jump up in the air.
Right there. Yep.
I actually like to stay up in the air that entire time.
There is actually time for you to get 2 to 3 shots in before you get that second forced sit down.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of learning this strat. So.
Well, there's a lot of concerns here. So one of the things is you definitely do not want to be taking damage during this, because that will extend the amount of time that the Metroid is on you. It will wait until you're at full health.
Yep.
Before
moving
moving and dying.
Yeah, and then there's the soft lock concern if you're charging up your plasma beam shot when you get hyper beam. But it looks like no soft locks here. Not that many shots. But it looks like Mother Brain is down.
Total getting caught on the gates a little bit on his escape.
Yeah, the timing those shots is tricky. He's choosing to spark up rather than blue bomber. Christofalo, that's keeping blue suit all the way through those rooms.
I'm not gonna lie, I view blue bomber as almost a meme strat. And not a real strat. I mean, it's definitely faster if you can do it.
Wild Anaconda likes it. Alright, Total making his way up through the parlor here. Making his way to the ship while Christofalo heading to the elevator in Lower Norfair.
Just missing that 130. Still going to be a PB for him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We got a 130.07 official SRL time of 130.14.
Yep. So congratulations to him. All that is left now is the verification that he got 100%. And then he will be the winner of this race.
So big congratulations to Total improving his PB by 26.5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's excellent. We've seen a lot of runners so far set PBs in this tournament. In fact, my first race, I set a PB. Not a good one, but I set one. So, that's just something, that's super awesome to see runners, coming out and improving their times and, doing it during the races. So. Just goes to show that this is a really cool category, I think. And if you want to learn to speedrun in this game, while there is a lot to this category, this is actually probably the best category to start with, as opposed to any of definitely troll you in plenty of areas.
Especially if you're one of those guys who decides I'm going to start with Fantoon first.
Oh. I tried that twice and decided that was definitely not for me. Definitely not for me. The moat, getting across the moat is just. It took me 30 minutes or so to even to get across there the first time, and I said nope. Christofalo entering the Pillar's room now, making his way across with screw attack. And
a diagonal spark. Very interesting mistake there.
Yeah.
Usually it's just straight up, but we had a diagonal spark this time. I guess he uses the R button to initiate his aerial shine sparks.
Yeah, I actually find it a lot easier to use the up button. I make fewer mistakes that way. But still plenty of mistakes. All right, perfect. He does not fall down through the hole there while after picking up those Mickey Mouse missiles. Definitely can be a troll. If he falls through the hole, he will have to go all the way back around through rooms that he's already completed.
Mm-hmm.
He does not want to do that. We'll just add more time to his run. Your Deer Force is ready, chat. Total. We have our Deer Force up on the screen here. And let's see here. Total. Look at that Deer Force bottom. Very interesting Deer Force. Yeah, somebody else. Bottom has also written it backwards. Total gets the 100%. Congratulations to him. for winning this race and setting a personal best. Double congratulations. That is, we see Cristofalo picking up the power bombs of shame. Again, they're not shameful. And kegwaying through that platform there. Very nicely done by him. Not shameful to pick up those power bombs in 100%, as again, they are required. Cristofalo making short work of these metal pirates. And on his way to Ridley. He has done really well for himself here, you know, after picking himself up after that death in the spiky death.
Chris being a good sport and saying congratulations to his opponent, decided to forfeit the race. So we are at a conclusion here.
Unfortunate that he's decided to forfeit. I would like to see him finish the run, but whoa.
Here we go. Here's a very nice way to close out the run.
You'll have to explain this one to me. I do not understand what just happened.
Oh, he screwed up and soft locked the game.
Alrighty then. Well, that concludes today's race here. Let's see here. Bring up the schedule and see what else. Make sure you follow these runners here. And I think that's the last race for today.
We have Donkey Kong Country 2 coming up, which is also just a fantastic game.
Yeah, that's not Super Metroid though.
No, it's a great game.
Yeah, definitely stick around for the Donkey Kong Country. It's you know, it's a very tight platforming game. But for Super Metroid, coming up tomorrow at 11 a.m., we have Feral 5X versus Jighart from Group Rotation. And then we at 3:03, Shokushu versus Zost.
I'm almost certain that's a typo. I believe those both should be at 3:30.
Yeah, it's probably supposed to be at 3:30. Because also at 3:30 is going to be Fuzda versus Runner Watcher. And those are our matches for tomorrow. So, you know, come back and check those out. All of them should be here on Speed Gaming. So, you know, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you to our runners for putting on an excellent show. Congratulations again go out to Total, both on his win and his PB. And thank you very much for joining me, Desirect. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. It has been very enjoyable.
My honor, I have to say.
Have a good night, everyone.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, we're already live. They're already.
Oh God, I have to talk to them now. Hey,
Yeah,
what's
dude.
up, everyone? I'm assuming we're on speed gaming right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. How's everyone in chat doing tonight? I hear we've had some pretty exciting Donkey 2 earlier today between Kipples and Canis, and it looks
That
like right
was,
now, an equally as exciting match we got right here. Feast, the legend from Japan. Who's Supreme, I believe. He's a 102% runner, isn't he?
He is. He also is the newest member of the 40 Club in any percent.
Oh, really?
If my quick glance at DKC speedruns is correct.
Oh my Lanta. That's, I believe, the 8th 40 now? A 40 is a legendary time, just so people know. It doesn't get any better than a 40, at least right now. Yeah, he is now in 5th place, only 2 seconds behind Waffle at a 40.52. Cut the Juice by 1 second and Canis by 2. So yeah, there are 7 40s. There are 7 40s. So
this is another really close matchup today. Chris's splits on her stream are not accurate. She has like a 41-23, so
yes.
We're looking at people who are like 30 seconds apart.
Mm.
Not quite as close as our 6 seconds from this morning, but still a very, very good matchup.
No, yeah, this is, I mean, to me, and Supreme, you're obviously more experienced in the donkey community than I am, so you could maybe say differently, but I kind of view, if anybody in the sub 42 range, 40s and 41s, like, to me, 40 is just a really, really good 41. And what I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from the 40s, but I think 41s are completely capable of pulling the upset.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say, I mean, it's like you see with Brambler and CLC and things like that. There's just enough things that, even if you think you do it well, you still have a chance of messing up. There's enough of these little things in here that, I mean, it's anybody's game once you get into this 40, 41, low 42 range.
Right. Do you have a quick prediction on hand? How do you feel this match could go?
Chris and I have been friends for a long time, but Feast has been playing really, really well, so it's hard to go against him.
Last thing I saw him streaming was 102 stuff, so you always, you're waiting to see some sort of a little, just, mental, just a little brain fart, I guess you could call it. Just going to do a 102 thing when it's like, wait, I'm in an 80% race. Probably doesn't happen here. But, yeah, I mean, Chris, like you said, has been around the game, one of the longest runners of the game in this tournament right now. Yeah, I mean, she showed a little bit of maybe nerves, maybe a little bit of de-rusting 2 matches ago in her first match with Luke. But, I mean,
she came back strong after that, though. She had a 42-32 against Fire Strike.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so yeah, like you said, right now, Feast is the higher seed for sure. I mean, literally is. Would be favored to win this match. But when they're this close, this is the 3 versus the 6 in the tournament. It's going to take just a few mistakes, and Christmas is taking this home. So, yeah, it should be a fun match for sure. And yes, Niemek, this is the winner's bracket. We're into kind of the Elite 8 of the winner's bracket corner. Let me actually bring up the bracket myself. I haven't looked at it for a couple of days.
So we got Void versus Kipples coming up, which will be good. And then the winner here gets to play Lynx, who had quite the exciting match a couple days ago against Kigu.
Say, looking in general. Yeah, Hippie took it. Reeves beat FS Lynx.
By the way, for those of you guys that tuned in last night for the Rock and Josh Blunt Bunny match, and Josh missed that PB after dying to K-Rool, he did come back later that night and actually got a small PB. So congrats to Josh. Getting it on the salty run back.
I have to ask, the Rock and Josh Blunt Bunny score, is this right? 45-18 to 141-35.
You didn't see that, did you? Oh man,
I did not. What?
Well, we'll do this in 2 parts. So that was actually a match where Josh was leading most of the way and was actually on PB pace and died to K-Rool. Blunt Bunny takes the lead by 1 cycle, gets to the last hit, and according to him, he was kind of looking at IRC before he was supposed to throw the cannonball, and did not throw the cannonball in time on the last hit. Soft locked, but he has a perfect race record, so he went and played the entire game again.
Oh, good for him.
So no forfeits to Blunt Bunny's name.
Well, here we are going into the race. Again, any of you guys who have been watching the tournament now, you're very much used to Worlds 1 and 2. Lots of intended warp barrels, developer intended all the way throughout the game, but plenty of also just little tricks. I was in BJW's chat about this a couple of nights ago, and he said he really doesn't like Worlds 1 and 2. I actually think Worlds 1 and 2 have plenty of just little interesting factors between the wrong warp you guys just saw in Main Brace. You'll see another couple little wrong warps coming up in Top Sail and Hothead Hop. Luckjaw, I think, is an interesting trick to watch. And hey, Crow RNG can do anything. Lava Fly, 2-2 Big Boy. There's lots of stuff going on in these first 2 worlds. We'll see how the players are able to hit each of them.
All right, and then just as a standard, if you guys haven't been watching matches I commentate, most of the time they have their timers up, so I usually go off of their timers because of Twitch delay. So if you hear me say Chris has a big lead, and it looks like they're tied, it's because I'm looking at timers generally.
Yeah, I'm actually going to bring up the same. I'm going to assume it's just Feast 0324 and Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so here we are, Crow, kind of really the biggest source of RNG in this entire run. So we're going to see how many fakes they get. This can kind of dictate the early game before you get into the harder levels.
So we got Christmas here. We got 1 fake. Okay, she's got 1 real one. Looks like Feast got the first one is real as well, so they're basically tied.
So
right here.
fakeless for Feast and 1 fake for Chris. So really pretty inconsequential. I think looking at their timers, Feast has a 1 second lead. But again, due to delay, it looks like Chris is a little ahead.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. 219 Hothead Hop opening, 220 for Christmas. So here we are at the third and final of the early game wrong warps. Each of the wrong warps, Spring, you would say each save like maybe 2.5, 3 seconds apiece.
Sorry, what was that? What saves 2.5 seconds apiece?
Each of the wrong warps in the first 2 worlds.
It gives or takes. Like I believe Top Sail saves close to 5, but in the most part, the early wrong warps are not looking at huge time saves.
All right, Christmas and Feast, both with the nice, tricky little goal swap there. We haven't explained goal swaps really yet, kind of here in these first few worlds. Supreme, do you want to explain how those work?
So, in the game, your partner can have a flag set to being airborne, in a sense, and that can be done, shooting out of a barrel, dropping off a hook, various things like that. And so if you swap on a goal while that flag, or whatever you want to call it, is set, it allows you to, when you swap, it basically mimics the action of hitting the goal because they're coming down from the ground. And I put that in quotes. So they lose that flag and suddenly it's like they've hit the goal.
Both of them getting through these last couple levels. Not a lot going on in these levels, however, you do want to make sure you get into that barrel that's up top in the balloon level, 2-4, whatever it's called. Missing that is obviously very costly, just straight up a death. Now, coming up here in the next level, we're going to be seeing Cleaver. One of the first real major mistake that can happen in the run, if there is a mishap, if there's a little bit of nerves in a race like this. I know a lot of lower end and even intermediate level runners that like to not go for it, but it is called the lava fly. And it is effectively to get to the right side for the 4th cannonball hit. The cannonball is already loaded over there, and you normally have to wait quite a bit. Ooh, Christmas.
The short hop. The short hop has been pretty brutal.
It is caused more deaths than you want to admit. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Cleaver has some other small instances of RNG, biggest being the spawns of the cannonballs. They can be really close, they can be really far away, and hopefully it doesn't usually cost you, but mere milliseconds, nothing major, but...
So you might have just said it. I was watching there. Let's actually see if Christmas is able to hit Lava Fly as well. She really needs it now. Okay, she is able to hit it. Needs to also pull the sword back over to the right and get him to swing his sword. Swing himself, I guess, in a way. Otherwise, it's not a soft lock, but you have to exit the level. You have to just kill yourself, because then it won't spawn the hooks. So it looks like we got a 520 World 2 for Feast. Come up here, Christmas.
Yeah,
Able
that
to
was
recover.
Unfortunate, but I mean, it looks like she's not even going to be 20 seconds behind. She's 15 seconds behind.
Yeah, very much. That's, just like you said. Unfortunate death doesn't have to be the end of this race in any way. You have to note, this is the winner's bracket. The loser will not be going home. They will be dropping in. Let's see who would their opponent be. Loser 98. Will be going on to face the winner of either Jake F. could face Waffle, the 2 seed in the tournament.
I think you're looking at 96. Loser of 98 would be either KBZ or the winner of Eason and Reeves.
Oh, all right. Well, either way, we'll have to face a very tough opponent, but very much could still go deep in this tournament with a loss. Even so, they want to keep going. The winner of this will go on to face Otter Lynx, who just had probably the most amazing tournament match I've ever seen.
That was quite the adventure. Who has the better PB? Feast, but only by like 30-ish seconds. So it's nothing crazy. And both have been putting some pretty heavy work in this game. Feast, like we mentioned earlier, has kind of had to split his attention between Any Percent and 102, because Feast is actually participating in a marathon called RTA in Japan, which is a marathon, I believe, solely of Japanese runners. I believe that to be the case. So be on the lookout for that if you haven't heard about it yet.
I keep saying it as we get into the deeper parts of this tournament that you're going to have to start to notice a little more. Like right there, Feast accidentally bumped that corner. Every little bump is going to cost just a little bit of time. That's going to mean more and more as we go deeper into these tournaments, how clean you can be in your movement all the way throughout. We saw Void on a gold split by Namix, who's the number 9 seed in this tournament, not a scrub by any means, get a gold split in World 4 and lose 8 seconds to Void, the number 1 overall seed. A lot of this is just down to cleanliness of movement that we'll try to point out as we go along.
Both having mostly clean glimmers so far. I know that, like I said, Chris and I go way back, so I know this is really not one of her favorite levels by any means. I mean, I can't really think of a Donkey 2 runner who really enjoys just grinding out that Glimmer IL and trying to not bump into things.
You're one of the only runners I can think of who's like genuinely put a little bit of time into all 3 games. Is this the worst swimming level in the trilogy, would you say?
No. Croctopus.
Croctopus is the worst. Would you say Croctopus would be harder to optimize?
Yes, actually. Well, maybe not harder to optimize, but it's really long, and there's just a bunch of time to lose. It doesn't have quite as many turns and twists like this, at least hard ones, where you have kind of narrow passageways, but you still can lose a lot of time to the idea of cornering and, not bonking into things, as well as the fact that it's like 2.5 minutes long.
Christmas was 15 seconds behind and was maybe moved a little cleaner throughout Glimmers right there, but unfortunately missed her goal swap and was rocking out with Dixie instead at the end, costing her about 3 seconds. Which also effectively probably cost her about another second because she also had to swap to Diddy for this level. Generally, just so people know, Diddy is going to be preferred throughout the majority of the run. He has faster movement speed. I don't know if there's other specific advantages to him, like if he jumps higher or anything. But just generally is going to be a faster character to use throughout most of the levels. Dixie's exceptions being any level where you really need to make use of her hover, and also pretty much all the boss fights, as her finish animation, her fanfare, is quite a bit shorter than Diddy's by about 3 seconds.
All right, we're out of battle time. This is it's tough to come up with new things to say, but it's basically kind of mastery of Radley's hitboxes, jumping. As we get deeper into the tournament, I expect less and less trouble from this level. It's a level that plagues people who are, starting out to, even when you get to like the mid to high 40s, you still might have some trouble.
Yeah.
Kind of what you prioritize on optimizing.
It's kind of one of those sneaky
Oh my
levels.
gosh. And wow. Feast just totally whiffed a bee and fell into a pit.
Oh, am I? Well, oh, okay. I am apparently. Oh, I'm looking at the. Okay, well, those are the sorts of mistakes. Because all of a sudden, that is bigger than anything Christmas has done so far. So Christmas, all of a sudden, blasting into the lead. Is not what Feast wanted to see. A lot of that comes from. I didn't see exactly which bee it was that he missed. But I know a lot of that is just you're trying to line up that entire level to where you're never going to have to really break your stride. And sometimes that requires you jumping off the very ends of bees right in front of pits. So definitely a very costly mistake for him. But it looks like that's basically going to pull it back to close to even now. Yep. Chris, both of them setting up for the wrong warp. I've seen the slime climb wrong warp be a real bitch to people the last few days. Okay. Christmas is able to get it.
All right, based on timers, it looks like Chris has about a 3-second lead.
Yeah, that's definitely what you need. So that basically evens out the race. Chris had the big mistake in Cleaver. Feast evening out with the big death and rattle battle.
Here's another opportunity for just small gains in time is how well they can shoot the barrels. You see Chris kind of didn't get the quick shot there, and that happens. That one's a particularly tricky one because you have to set up for 2 consecutive ones.
Each of them being about a 3-frame window, so it's, you know, certainly not, you know, we do like 1 and 2 frame tricks all the time, but 3 frames are not free. And when you have to do a lot of them, especially back to back like that, it happens from time to time for even the top runners.
All right, fine clip time. Let's see what we got.
It's a big one. This saves potentially 7 seconds if they're able to get it.
I'm surprised Chris got that. It seemed like she was a little far over to the right, but got it, and that's huge. And Feast gets it too. Nice.
Gets it as well. Very nice for both runners.
Yes, Lynx, the Kipples and Canis race today was incredible. I suggest after this race, if you guys did not see it this morning, to go back and look at the VODs because that was some high-tiered, just edge-of-your-seat Donkey Kong racing.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out myself. So here we are, unfortunately, on Cudgel. If Donkey Kong Land 2 got one thing right, it's cutting this idiot out of the game. It kept literally everything else, at least in terms of levels. Hey, it turned Castle Crush into not an auto-scroller, and it took this guy out, making World 2 be like 12 levels. But yeah, the only real strat to talk about here is just these different the quick kill hits, which total, all 6 of them will net you about 2 more seconds. Or 2 less seconds, I guess, rather. But if you miss one, then you're losing about 10 seconds. So it's kind of one of those, like, you really got to be confident in it. Supreme, I don't know if you ever messed with them or not. Generally, high-level runners have told me, once you learn it, you really don't forget it.
I've done it a little bit. My timeline with the game is I stopped playing once 3 got into SGDQ 15, and I really haven't touched it since. So I was kind of meddling with it at the end of my time playing, but never really incorporated it into my runs. But it's kind of difficult, but it's more about learning how to set up your positioning. It's not that hard to learn how to get out of the way when you need to move. It's really nice that you can set it up based on, as some people say, the hair oscillations or Dixie's breathing, that kind of thing.
So here we are, a very, very tight race right now. Again, Christmas with just about a 3-second lead coming out of World 3. This is the kind of exciting matchup we were waiting for. Here we are moving into Hornet Hole. Not the most difficult level, but I probably underrate this level for how much you should practice it, especially due to just the honey climbing. Maybe just the most hard to optimize stuff in the game is climbing honey correctly.
Yeah, Chris is looking good so far. She got up that wall before the hook or the crook pretty cleanly and did it in a minimal amount of jumps. All right, here we have our scroll. Oh, okay. Feast recovers.
Feast is able to get his spider back. You really don't want to lose your spider here.
Not a huge time loss deal because Chris had a little bit of trouble rewriting Squitter, I guess. I don't know how you want to put that, but
sure. That sounds good. We'll go with that. All Right. For anyone who doesn't know how the scrolly scroll works, I don't really know either. But the basic idea is that you get on the hook, the spider, and the web all at the same time. And it confuses the game because it thinks, oh, you're on a hook. The camera should be locked. So then the camera just scrolls indefinitely really fast to the right until you take damage, which is why they take damage. That is intentional. So, makes for one of the coolest tricks in the run, I would say, and also one that's kind of a fun party trick. I don't find it very difficult at all. And it certainly looks pretty crazy.
And sadly, it's the only only time you see something like that at 80%. 102% has another instance of it, I believe, in one of the bonus levels.
Yeah, in the first